Halloween
Forever.
Guys, got a little history lesson for you and to kick off this little mini-sode.
Teach me.
Did you know that James A. Garfield was shot on Saturday, July 2nd, 1881? Former president, of course, died months later, but it was a Monday, September 19th, 1881, and that is the origin of why Garfield hates Mondays.
Wow,
Did you guys know
are
that?
you serious? Is that a serious thing?
No. Welcome, boys and
love you.
ghouls, to another motherfucking Minisode of Halloween's Forever. I'm Brian.
I'm Meg.
I'm Steve.
We're recording this on a Monday, which we never do.
Yeah, we fucked up this weekend.
We
All of
usually
us, 10 out of 10.
release on a
It's-
Monday.
All of us.
It's
No,
summer
no,
break.
no,
No,
no.
Steve. No, Steve.
No.
Steve, don't be the prude here. Okay?
Steve,
Don't let me in.
Take blame.
Summer break.
Take blame for a thing that wasn't your fault, Steve. It was me and Meg. Our schedules were a little crazy. Things got wacky, and we were not able to record on this weekend. So we had to release a day late. We are recording this on a Monday.
Anybody who knows me and listens to my other show knows
They
that I
don't.
am a
I'm
shut-in.
joking.
They know those three people know I'm a shut-in and I don't have a life outside, so none of this was my fault.
Yeah, we things were getting wacky, getting hairy. Like I said, it's Monday, and I sat down. I just got done with work 2 seconds ago. I've been working for fucking 12 hours today, running all over the place. Just got off my 19th conference call of the day, and I'm like pour myself a beer, and I'm like, it's been a fucking week, and it is Monday. It's a lot. Guys, we got to balance the work-life situation. And also, I will say this. I want to apologize for anybody who was waiting for their episode on Monday morning, because that is a bummer. When you're on your way to work, you want to listen to your favorite podcast and it's not there. But also, money back guarantee. I'm giving free refunds for anybody who wants a refund on this free podcast.
10 out of 10. If you don't love us.
Money back guarantee. I'll send you exactly $0, which is what you pay, you rat fucks, for this
Man,
podcast.
Brian's going at it. He's like, you know what? You love me, and I also fuck you. Like, pretty much.
I need beer and pizza in my body right now. Beer and pizza need to be in my body right this fucking second, or I'm gonna freak out and rip my own fucking face off.
I'm unbothered over here with this food I'm eating. I'm sorry.
You are sweating
I'm
profusely.
sweating real
Steve,
bad.
was there a legal disclaimer you wanted me to say because I call people rat fucks?
No, you can call them rat fucks all you want. The legal disclaimer is it only applies to this episode. Just in case in the future, if we move things to the Patreon.
I see. Yes, just for this episode.
You get your
money
money
back guarantee, 100% free. This is free episode.
Yeah.
All the other episodes before this have also been free, FYI.
Yeah, we have so much content for people right now. Like,
I'm just dripping
they should be
content
bowing to us with how much free content we have for everyone right now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
Brian, you don't need to apologize.
I am
Stop apologizing.
I am my saliva. I'm oozing content right now. What are you eating over there that you're sweating your face off?
So I didn't eat much this afternoon. So I grabbed some food from work on my way home, but I'm like sweating because this food is so delicious. But you guys know me, I don't do spicy well, but I'm I'm trying real hard.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have this like tomato and cucumber salad from where I work, and basically it has this base of like labna, which is like almost like yogurt type base.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then we have tomatoes, cucumbers, and then it has like zug dribbled all over it, which is like this spicy cilantro sauce, and that's what's making my mouth want to kiss ice.
All hail Zoog. That's all I'm saying, guys.
Have you had Zoog? Do you like Zoog?
I do. And
It's
coincidentally,
really good,
I just
man.
ate a bunch of tomato. It's that time of year. We got tomatoes and cukes in the garden, so made a little tomato cuke salad. But I went a little bit of a Mediterranean direction with mine. But
that's cool. I got some.
so good.
I do have some falafel crisps on top of it.
Oh, I
Does that help?
fuck with
Look
the
at,
falafel.
I'm gonna eat the falafel crisp.
That does look good. I love a
So
falafel. I just jammed
Chef's kiss.
a piece of Pizza Joe's pizza in my face before we got on here because I haven't eaten all day. But I am 100% going to eat 5 more pieces of Pizza Joe's pizza when we get off the videos. Oh, Steve, any fun food exploits today? As Meg and I are ravenously hungry.
I had a little bit of ramen for lunch.
Little ramen action. Do we have beers? Should we talk about beers? Guys, we're going to talk about a movie here. You already know what it is because you looked at the podcast. It's called Orphan First Kill. It sucks. But before we do that, let's talk about the beers that we're drinking. Who has beers?
I got beers.
What do you got?
Go for it.
This one is from Three Heads Brewing, somewhere out of New York. It's their Old Salty. It's a salted caramel chocolate stout.
Blech.
And it is 6.5 and 30 IBUs. It's fine.
Sorry, I gagged when he said that.
You did. That was like so reactionary.
Did you rim the glass with like just melt like Hershey syrup and like?
No, it's in the bottle. It's in the bottle.
Oh my God. Okay. I don't know if I should embarrass myself on the show right now and say this, that like the moment
or the 400th time.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not embarrassed by anything I say at this point. Maybe the first episode. But like now in my mind, as soon as you said, I was like, oh yeah, caramel cum rim. Yes, on your glass because that's what that beer deserves. Mix it up, dip it, and then fucking go.
That's why you always have to keep all the accoutrements of sex magic. You got to keep cum. You got to keep period blood in large quantities around your house so you can do sex magic.
Okay, Brian, I appreciate you like going along with my thread here.
That's what you need for sex magic. Do you guys not know anything about sex magic?
I just figured that was the counter behind Starbucks, being that you can order anything. So
yeah, they're just all there like jacking off back there. Like that's actually why it takes so long, and you should always order ahead.
There's definitely a low budget porno just about a bunch of people working at Starbucks jacking off back there.
Can I get a ribbon of caramel and 2 squirts of squirt?
2 ropes of caramel. Sorry guys. Sorry.
We need to stop apologizing for this because it's going to only get worse from here.
Can I get 3 pumps of the vanilla shot? Just know I need 3 ropes.
Yeah,
caramel.
That's the way everybody needs to order now. You need to order it by ropes. Give me some thick ropes.
Give me 3 ropes. All right, guys.
Wow, we lost 20 listeners today.
People are eating breakfast, drinking their morning coffee, listening to us talking about all types of gross shit.
This is a time where people start actually catching on, and they're like, "Hey, we got a horror podcast over here, and look at these degens talking about cum rims."
Yeah.
It's the best time to get it in their head. That way, when they're ready for their lunch break to go get their Starbuckies, or Dunky Doos, however it be.
We're not sponsored by Starbuckies, bud.
We're not sponsored by Starbuckies. That's why I also said Dunky Doos.
Yeah.
Whichever you pick.
Yeah.
And then you go up and you say,
by them.
hey, they got to fight it out and they got to choose.
Yeah.
But when you go up, you say,
we're open to discussions.
Yeah. Let me get 3 ropes of fucking caramel and a thick squirt of coconut. And they,
man,
that's how you put your orders in from now on. That's 2022, the rest of the year.
And I'm like, that's healthy as fuck, man.
All right. Steve's drinking Gloop Glop. What are you drinking, Meg?
High
Life
shit. Iron City.
This is all checking out. This is the most stereotypical order. And guess what? I'm drinking, which makes it even more a fucking Pilsner, baby. Brian's drinking a Pilsner. Meg's drinking some white trash bullshit. And Steve's drinking Gloop Glop. That is just how it goes. That is the most predictable orders. Hey
guys, we're on brand, and I like it.
I'm drinking, but I am drinking a new one at least. Like I'm drinking a Pilsner that I have not had before. I'm drinking.
Talk to us about it.
I think it's pronounced Zool, Xul, but there's a umlaut over the U. It's the first beer I've had from them.
Where are they out of?
Beer Company from Tennessee, somewhere, Knoxville.
Oh, okay.
My brother brought it up. They're in town visiting from beautiful Nashville, Tennessee, but he brought me up he always brings me a bunch of Tennessee Pilsners and Helles and shit that I can't get. And this is one I've never had. And it is called, it's a school night. It's their Italian Pils.
I love that name. I also
it's a cool
feel
label
like
too.
I also feel like, is there boobs on it for Dollywood? You know, I mean, I feel like
No,
anything coming
I
out of
wish there
Knoxville, we
was.
have to have a Dolly Parton boobs.
I'm looking
on
for a reference. I don't see it.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
It is nice. It's nice. When I poured it out, it's
a little cloudy.
It's quite cloudy,
maybe?
which kind of sketched me out, but it actually tastes really nice.
Cool.
Very nice.
It's an Italian Pilsner, so it's got the hop.
It's got a dry hop.
Yeah,
that's what.
I'm
That's
making
how
a
they
haste.
call
Chef's
it.
kiss.
Yes,
Give that chef's kiss, you know, emoji.
Mozzarella. But no, it's pretty.
Why do you
pretty
look
damn good.
so much like Bob Ross right now,
Me?
Brian?
Because of my afro.
Sorry,
It's-
finally looked at the camera and I'm like, oh wow, Brian's
It's
playing Bob Ross today.
I know my hair is getting pretty froed out. It's very humid today, and my long curly hair has exploded into a Jufro, which I do rock proudly. As someone of Eastern European Jewish heritage, I am going to sport the Jufro all day.
Every now and then, he looks like John C. Riley.
Every once in a while. Every once in a while.
True.
All right. Beers, we got them, right? Before we get into the movie, a couple of quick thingies here. Remember, this is our last minisode of August. And guess what, guys? If you haven't checked the calendar, this Thursday, September 1st, guys, that's fucking spooky season. So, and I know you guys have argued with me that no, it can't be spooky season in July. No, definitely not. August isn't spooky season. Fuck you. September 1st, you better all get on board. It's spooky season, guys. It's fucking it's full on Halloween, September 1st. I don't give a shit.
Can we do a poll of how many people have already been to Spirit Halloween? Because I feel like I also want to know what people got. Like I genuinely, I ran into a photographer, writer this week, and I saw she went to Spirit already, and you know she's like looking at all the costumes and stuff, and it's like, yeah, but half this shit is just like things you would probably wear normally, and you're like, oh man,
yeah, there is just like horror T-shirts,
shopping in Spirit Halloween.
I bought another skeleton. I wanted to buy the giant shorty from Killer Clowns from Outer Space, animatronic, but I knew I wasn't going to spend the money on it because I figured it was going to be like $400 or $500, which I'm not spending that money. But I do think that only like they didn't even have it
You're
there.
Not committed, Brian, and I don't like
every
it.
store only gets like one of those items,
right?
Which is it's almost like a display piece.
Because they're waiting for people like you.
I know
it's a big ticket, Price is Right kind of game. You just got to see who gets it. I've already dipped my toe into spooky a little bit. I've had two Reese's Pumpkins.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I've had probably 4.
Well, I've had 2 as of recording. I've had 2, and then I was at a Big Lots and I saw the big and giant inflatable haunted house yard blow up they have.
Nice. Yes. I also, and I did post on the Instagram.
Sounds great.
I did. I have already purchased a box of Count Chocula, a box of Boo Berry, and a box of Frankenberry, and the Count Chocula already gone.
So this is where you need to solicit. What is the one that the gentle sir
Fruit
that
Brute.
we
Brute.
No Fruit Brute yet. The only time I've heard of Fruit Brute, and they had the whole big end cap display at the Giant Eagle where I got them, but no Fruit Brute. And I've been told, and I have not taken the time to confirm this, that Fruit Brute is only in the bulk variety pack situation that they have at Sam's Club. I don't go to Sam's Club. What?
burn this motherfucker down.
I know. I'm honestly, if I don't get my hands on some Fruit Brute, I'm gonna kill myself, you guys. I'm gonna fully kill myself.
If you want this show to go on, you have to send Brian Fruit Brute.
Fruit Brute.
People don't need to give us money or even actually review us. Just send us this cereal that
I'm gonna throw myself in front of a train if I don't have Fruit Brute in my hands by the end of the week.
Tell the people where you're gonna be at, and I'm sure someone actually will show up there. I promise you. I know.
I don't know. I got to find a spot that's right by the High Line, right down the Sly Fox, right across from the brewery where so many trains. I was on the phone today trying to do a conference call and there were 700 trains. So at least I knew where to catch a train. So anyway, guys.
Brian should never know where trains are because he's always on the verge of jumping in front of one over
never know where
cereal.
trains are. So getting back to my original point here. It's almost spooky season, guys. I mean, it already is for me, but for the general population, it's almost spooky season. Starts on September 1st. Get with the fucking program. What that means is, guys, next week's episode is our first showdown episode of spooky season, wherein we're going to talk about Our topic is satanic panic. We're going to talk about some motherfucking satanic movies, guys. Some of which Satan is the bad guy, arguably. Some of which Satan is a good guy. Who knows? We'll talk about it. I'm a big Satan guy personally. I picked a movie, or let's go around the horn. Let's talk about. Let's remind our listeners what the movie is that we are picking. Meg, what's your movie?
Yo, Booze. We're gonna watch Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah,
because we
classic.
understand this is top tier satanic panic films.
Banger film. Steve, what is yours?
The Prince of Darkness.
Prince of Darkness. Fucking John Carpenter. Banger.
Oh
my
guys.
God, you're gonna have so much fun.
I'm
with
excited.
That movie.
I'm excited. I think this whole episode I'm gonna be really excited about. Keep going.
Oh, Prince of Darkness, one of my favorites. Mine, I will remind everyone that Steve picked my first pick, which is Prince of Darkness, but I'm going with The Omen, also another banger. So
did I not pick your second pick too?
You picked my third pick.
Okay.
So my picks in order were going to be Prince of Darkness, The Omen, Rosemary's Baby.
I think Steve did that on purpose because he knew you would choose that. Like we've talked
about
it so many times. Like
it all came down to you. You were the one who picked the order, and I thought if you let me go second, I'm going to get it. If Steve goes before me, he's going to get it.
Versus like blame Steve because he knows you so much better than I do as far as.
But
like,
he knows that I love it, and I know that he loves it. So it would have been dumb.
We both love the movie.
Yeah, it would have been dumb for either of us to not pick it. So it really came down to you, and you fucked me once again.
My favorite.
So go watch those movies. It's all of them are absolute bangers. If you haven't seen any of them, rewatch them. They're all great. Introduction to spooky season because none of them are like Halloween-y, but they're all like got some really cool spooky vibes. They're all weenie all the time. Actually, I don't think there's any weenie in any of these movies.
I don't think so. Mine's pretty prudish, I think.
Yeah.
There's some close weenie in mine because he's like in bed with a chick.
Yeah.
You can
close
pretend like
weenie.
you know what it looks like.
Yeah.
You might see its outline under the sheets.
Yeah. You also get a sick ass mustache in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, go watch
Tom
those
Atkins
movies.
light.
It is. It really is. It's like Wish.com Tom Atkins. And if you have not watched them before, go watch them. It's going to be a blast. Next week, that's going to be our showdown episode for kicking off September. Now, if you want to know what the hell that means, we're each going to pick the movie. We're going to argue about it. One person's going to take home the motherfucking strap for the month. But if you want to help us in the future, suggest topics. We just got some recently really nice suggestions from the social medias for, Ben, our very good friend Ben, Bigfoot Benjamin, who was a guest on the podcast in the past. He suggested a topic which I thought was wonderful, which is just horniest horror, just the horniest movies.
Wait. Do we have to? Okay, can we break this idea down though, real fast? Is what I want to know is like, is it a movie that makes me the horniest, or in general, we're like,
that's how you defend it, Meg.
We can respect the horniness that's going on.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a great question.
What makes me horny might not make you horny, but I hear you, Steve. I hear you.
Yeah.
It's about defending. I mean, if you want to tailor it to your kink rather than just general sleaze,
we could possibly be kink shaming people, and I don't love that idea.
Well, that would just be me kink shaming you. It's not, it's not kink shaming people out in the world.
What if for my horniest horror movie, I picked like frogs?
Yeah. if you pick, what is it? Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Well, that's just because Roddy Piper makes me horny. That's totally valid.
You know what?
Yeah.
He's a sexy
Brian,
man.
I would actually be pretty excited to hear the defense.
Of why frogs makes me horny.
I love you as a person, and so I just want to hear. I want to hear more about your kinks and like what turns you on. This is a great conversation.
Here's why Frogs is the horniest movie. Ready? It's because there's hardly any frogs in it, and I like to be denied what I'm promised.
I like that. I like that defense.
There's hardly any frogs in it, and you telling me you're going to give me frogs and then not giving them to me makes me really horny.
I like.
All right, guys.
Why are you so fucking weird?
That's real frogdom fucking shit there.
Wow. Oh my God. He actually has a frog costume on right now. We don't tell people because we don't post the video.
But it's like a really cartoonish frog. It's like my Garfield costume, but a frog.
Yes. 10 out of 10. But
I am covered in petroleum jelly to make me all slippery.
Oh my God, dude.
All right, guys. We're on a tangent.
Kate.
We got to talk about the movie. Listen, she knows what she got herself into.
She stuck around.
She didn't have to say yes. So here's what we're going to do. Let's get into this sumbitchin' movie. But before we do that, if you want to help us suggest topics like horniest horror movies or whatever the hell other topics or even minisode suggestions, go ahead out there on the damn social medias for us. We're gonna be doing a lot of really fun stuff as spooky season kicks off here. At Halloween is Forever on the Instagrams, at Hallow Forever on Twitter, Halloween is Forever podcast on Facebook, Halloween is Forever pod on TikTok, or Halloween is Forever pod at gmail.com for the email. Steve just came up with a really weird frog picture.
Got it real fast.
What is this? That's such a strange picture.
Is it on a scooter?
Is there a dog that's dead in the basket?
Oh my God, it does. I think it has a dead dog.
Yes, to all of your questions.
It's a sad dog, at least.
Yeah. It looks like the dog is in there against its will.
Yeah, it is. It's from a Takashi Miike film called Yakuza Apocalypse. So anybody who gets that reference will understand what the picture of the frog is.
Post it.
Yakuza Apocalypse. I'm watching it.
You'll like it. It's an incredibly bizarre film. It has one of the worst endings ever, though. But
like in a worse way of like you. Because, okay, when you say worst endings, I tend to enjoy when things don't always go as planned. Did it not go as planned, or you're like, this is too storybook? And
no, it's not storybook at all. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. And it basically ends on like a to be continued. It's fucking like, and then there's no second follow-up film or anything. It's just awful.
I love every time Steve talks, the frog picture comes up on my screen too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I only want to actually talk to the frog.
Speaking of Meg's preferences in movies, we're going to talk about fucking this one, which Meg wanted to try. I wanted to do. So little inside baseball here. Meg suggested that we were going to do this damn movie we're talking about here, which is Orphan First Kill. So she wanted to watch this movie. We were like, okay, fine. And then I forgot. And then I said, we're going to do Tubi Roulette. And then we got off the call. She was like, why'd you say? I thought we were going to do the movie. And I was like, fuck. Okay, we're going to do this movie.
Yeah,
but then you fucked up. We went and saw it, and I started to realize why Meg wanted to do this movie so bad is because it's ripe with incest, and that's her favorite fucking thing in the world. Every movie you watch or you suggest has incest in it. Yes, it does.
No, that's false. Tell me more examples.
Strange thing about the Johnsons.
Incest.
Okay.
Mother.
Okay, we're talking a year ago as well.
Incest. There was 4. This one, of course. And then there was a 4th one. You have now suggested 4 incest movies. It is a trend. 2 times coincidence. 3. It's a 3 times. Shame on me.
It's not incest because you guys are like totally manipulating this right now because this movie is not incest. In theory, she is quote unquote the daughter or adopted,
incest
blah,
adjacent,
blah, blah. But she is not
that
biological.
Is
so don't come at me about this incest bullshit anymore.
Meg, she gravitates towards these type of movies.
No, but let's be real. You really fucked the pooch on this because I had no idea about like how this movie would actually turn out. I just was excited because we talked about it on the show. We talked about Orphan, the first one, and oh my god, there's another fucking frog.
It's a totally different frog. Actually, same frog, different angle. I think.
I'm not here for that. So yeah, like I was pretty impressed by the first one. I'm not gonna sit here and defend it like it was something I would be like, yeah, go out and watch because I've subsequently obviously talked to people about it, and I'm like, man. So let's talk about it.
I should say also, top of the hour here. If you have not seen the Orphan,
I'm gonna fucking go off the top rope here and fucking land on your fucking face and elbow drop you so fucking hard.
This is chaos. Meg is fucked up. Steve's just put up a bunch of pictures of frogs. So here's what I will say. If you have not seen Orphan, the first one from 2009.
Yeah, something like that, because it's been over 10 years since it.
Yeah. If you haven't seen that, or of course, currently in theaters, Orphan First Kill, both movies hinge pretty heavily, the first one even more so, on a big old twisty twist. So just FYI, spoiler alerts, we're going to ruin the hell out of these movies for you. So
we're going to run through it quick, though, because this one has one good twist.
They both
you know what I mean?
The first movie, the twist is, it's about this, of course, orphan who goes to live with this family, and she starts doing creepy shit, and they're like, oh, what's she up to? She's fucking killer, whatever. Turns out she's not a 10-year-old girl. She's a fucking 31-year-old woman with some form of dwarfism, I guess, is how they kind of describe it.
Which I love this. I love the idea of the story.
It's based on a true story, I think, too.
What is it? It's based on a true story. And I think that's such an interesting concept for someone who could be going through some like psychological bullshit, who just all of a sudden was like, holy shit, these like, I went through some terrible shit and no one loves me. And now all of a sudden I'm going to be a murderous fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, so it hinges on this whole thing. You don't really see it coming that well. The actress, which her name's escaping me, I have it looked up and I forgot it.
Isabella Fuhrman.
Yes, she does a tremendous job in the first movie, I think, even though it's not, a masterpiece or anything like that. They do and if you don't especially know the true story that's based on, which is kind of a fairly famous true crime story, it will probably take you off guard. They do a pretty good job of it.
I think it's such a cool premise, though, too. I genuinely do. I think like it's one of those things that will throw you so far off guard, and they did such a good job in the first one, which is why, again, watching it years after it came out, I think struck me, in which I was like, holy shit, this is actually a really cool concept. And finding out that it's actually a real story, I think is a great thing. But let's go into like
So
keep going.
So in the first movie, the actress especially, which I don't know what her age was when that came out in 2009, but I am going to look because now I am quite I
feel like she was in her mid-20s when the first one came out, and then
she was born
like 40.
She's only 25 now.
She's only 25 now.
Oh. Yeah, so she was a child. She was born in 1997, so she was only 12 years old when the first movie came out.
Oh, that's wild.
So it made sense because you were like, oh, she looked like a little girl, and she was supposed to be playing. I just looked. She was playing 9. The parents in the first movie, because you had to go through the grief with them because they had a daughter who died or a child who died, and then they adopted. It's much better. Way better acted in the first movie as well. It's how do you say her name? Vera Farmiga.
I never figured it out.
You would know her to see her. You would recognize her face. She's been in a lot of things. And then Peter Skarsgård is the other who plays the dad. Yeah, she was in, what the heck else was she in? So she's in, the thing I was thinking of, probably most people would know her from, is The Departed. She plays the cop who is undercover, Matt Damon's character, who's the his significant other. It's Leonardo DiCaprio's character's like shrink, basically. But she's also in Bates Motel. She's in the Conjuring movies. Like, that's probably where a lot of people know her from too. Anyway, she's fantastic. Peter Skarsgård is fantastic. They really dwarf the performances that you see in the second movie. Dwarf. that was not intentional, but a pretty good pun.
Are we being PC here?
Guys, I said it was an unintentional pun. So anyway, the next movie, Orphan First Kill, which just is currently in theaters, it is a prequel. So it basically tells you the story leading up to the events of the 2009 movie. I don't like prequels in horror for this reason. She's going to survive. The monster is not going to get got. She is going to get away.
Yep.
People are going to die, and she's going to get off in some scot-free in some capacity. Now, I guess hypothetically, they could go in some wacky way and say there's a twin or whatever, but it felt like it kind of told you what the ending was going to be a little bit. But this is about her origin story, but it also was left in this very I would say this movie is almost like a James Wan like wannabe flick, because it feels like it's like a low budget version of his type of movies.
Yeah.
But then there's no creature or action or anything. Nothing cool ever happens.
Yeah. See, I felt like the film. Okay, so I'm with you, Brian, and I don't like prequels, like, period. Like, just again, because like you're saying, you know how it ends up. So like, why do you care? With the exception of like Better Call Saul, because I did just finish that, and like
that's just the writing's incredible.
Right, exactly. Yeah. They understand what they're doing with the characters, and they're fleshing them out more, and it actually completely reframes Breaking Bad. But
there's also like characters you care about other than Saul,
right,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? But anyway,
but yeah, so this, like, I didn't like this film up until the twist, because otherwise it would have just played out like just a boring origin story. But when you get the twist, I was like, oh, that's fucking kind of goofy.
Yeah.
Did you? I feel so much the same in that, like, I was like, this feels mildly boring. Like, there was no excitement to it. There was no like, oh, we're building up to this twist. It was just like, hey, we need a twist. That's what it felt like to me. It was like, we need a twist to make this plot move forward, and that's what this whole movie is about. But we need to give you like a half hour of, okay, she was here and here and here, and how did she get here?
It does feel like a script that was
continue.
No, I agree. It feels like a script that was built around a twist a little bit.
Yeah.
But then it never really pays off.
Because you feel the same way at the end. If like you get the twist and then you feel the same way at the end.
That's not fair to say. The twist, I like the twist. I'll put it this way.
I do too.
I thought the movie sucked and it was boring as fuck. And we'll talk about the twist in a second. Then it got to the twist and I was like, ooh, cool. I like where this is going. But then it never really went anywhere interesting.
Yeah.
I guess is what I meant. So let's do that. Let's talk about what happens at the beginning, and then we'll jump to the twist, because like you said, nothing really fucking happens up until there. So the first thing that happens is you see the origin. And when I say James Wanish too, like, they're building this because they want it to be a franchise, like a bigger franchise. Because
we were also introduced to the intro in the last movie, though. We knew where she came from. Anyway, keep going.
But
I just want to say,
all they did, you're right. It kind of started. It didn't go any further back than we knew from the original movie. Right. All it did was just show her a little bit more in this asylum that she was in. And there were a couple decent elements. They show how like manipulative she is. And then, then this teacher comes in who's going to be like an art therapist. She manipulates her. And then you see her like building a plan. She manipulates the other patients, one of which is, basically, if she promises her candy, she'll murder people, I guess, or she just freaks out.
Feral.
So they do one of them actions. Anyway, she does this whole big, Ocean's 11 style escape situation.
Except it wasn't.
Except for like everyone could see her. And also, hey guys, word of the wise, not a medical professional, but if you are building an asylum for dangerous criminals, turn the lights on. Just turn them on.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Turn them on. Because I feel like that scene, because like you jumped mildly ahead to like where it was like when we saw how manipulative she is. But I honestly thought that opening scene where the teacher was introduced to her, like, it was kind of creepy. I felt like it was a good creepy scene. I felt a little. chills.
You mean in the room where you're like,
the
guy,
it's like the flashing of the lights, and then you slowly see her face change. Yeah. I genuinely thought that scene itself was a good scene in the movie.
It just was really predictable. You knew what was going to happen. Like,
totally.
We were watching it, and I was watching with a group of people. It was me, it was Kate, my brother and sister-in-law. My parents, there's a whole bunch of us in the room, and we're watching it. And as soon as the lights went off, the guy goes, first of all, we were all like, why are the lights off? But then he goes, stay in this room, you'll be safe. And like four of us simultaneously said, no, you won't. Like, it was so immediate. And then they put him in the room where like, she's behind you. And then of course she was. It was just like very predictable.
I agree that it was predictable, but I do want to give it props that it was a creepy scene. I feel like it still was a creepy scene.
It wasn't terrible.
Yeah, as far as being acted, like, again, Isabel Fuhrman does really well acting in this.
Yeah.
And she's probably the only good actor in this. But like, everything else like Brian is saying, it still feels incredibly predictable. The whole breakout scene is ridiculous because she's just like hiding behind doors. She's
like
hiding
the one her head's above the window. Like you
Yeah.
can see her.
Yeah.
Like you could, like, that guy clearly could have seen her shadow. Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. Yes.
How oblivious. And like the one that's really stupid is she's hiding behind a locker. Somebody passes the locker and then they do a fake jump scare of a patient behind her.
Yeah.
But like, why wouldn't the orderly that just passed that not also turn around to look at that door to make sure the patient wasn't breaking out?
Well, that's what my brother said when we were watching. He was like, so first of all, this is Metal Gear Solid, like on PS1. Like the guys go, they go, oh, what was that? And then nothing. He was like, and she's just Solid Snake running around making all this noise, but nobody ever hears or notices. It was pretty corny. Then she gets to the end, and the end meaning she's about to walk outside, and you were
That was
meant
so
to,
weird. I did not like that scene. Part two.
Why you were meant to. Like, did she just get lucky that the feral, crazy, wild woman who kills people for candy was there? Or did she know that was going to be the case?
Right.
I felt like I don't think I missed it, but I don't think they, like, all we know is that she's like the other woman that distracts the cop or attacks him is clearly insane. But she, like, why would she somehow know that this a clearly young adult wants to escape and then help her? You know what I mean? Without any premeditated like thing. That part didn't make sense to me when I was watching it too.
I forgot to mention too, the way she gets out of the cell is by seducing this creeper to come into her cell, which I was like, cool. I like that.
That's it was cool. We've seen that. And
why is she super strong?
Yeah, I don't know.
She is
because she's 30.
She's 4 feet tall.
And she was standing on a chair. That's not a good balance.
That's true. Like, yeah, you don't get a lot of.
There is no 4 foot tall.
She also grabs Julia Stiles' arm, and you're like, whoa! Like, why would Julia Stiles be like so fucking like hurt by this though?
I should clarify. She's standing on a chair, standing beside a guy who looks to be well over 6 foot tall. Or even if he's 5'10", I don't care. He's a tallish guy. He's standing there. She's on a chair, and she kills him by grabbing his head and bouncing it off the wall.
Brian, he's a beta bitch. He was gonna fucking just go against the wall.
Does he have a soft skull? Like
yes.
what?
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what, Brian? Yes,
because
Chernobyl or something.
We're forgetting this is in Estonia, and Estonia has like just bad vitamin deficiencies.
Yeah, I guess
calcium deficient,
no vitamin D, and so they all have baby
His skull is like a soft shell crab. Yeah, it's like really
it's like a soft shell crab. Like they're soft spots in the Eastern Europe. They don't fuse when they're babies. They still have soft spots, so you can just poke people in the back of the head and end them.
It kills them. I can just put my finger into your brain.
Yeah,
like.
Absolutely. We're gonna get a prequel to this movie, and she just like is doing push-ups for like an hour and a half.
She's doing pull-ups. She's got like neck tattoos. Yeah,
that's what we needed. We needed more Bronson type action in the asylum.
The next one is it's a prequel. But it's also ties into the Death Wish universe. So anyway,
I meant Bronson is in Tom Hardy.
Oh,
movie,
I
not
Charles
Bronson. I was following. No, I mean either.
I went to Charles Bronson. But yes, either or, really. We're talking about the same thing here. So not the same Charles Bronson, the same mentality. All right. So anyway, so she escapes. She ends up apparently this is how you get to America. You sit on a swing at night, you tell a cop you're from America. That's all that happens. And then they send her to America. She has assumed the role of this missing child. Apparently she looks a lot like her in the face, which, they show you she's supposed to or whatever. But apparently like fingerprints or any other thing, none of this exists. And they just send her to the country and go, guys, send her to Connecticut or whatever in this like wildly white couple, like the whitest people I've ever fucking seen. Connecticut white, like the whitest. And they're super
he's
wealthy.
An artist and they're wealthy. You know what I mean?
The thing is, I took it as this, and I think this is what it was, is the wife, she comes from money, but also makes a lot of money. Like she's the money, and he is the like, ineffectual boy toy husband who she
he's kept.
He is a
How
kept
can I
man.
find one of them's?
Yeah. But then
I'd
you
like
got to
that.
support him and just let him paint and fuck himself all day.
I'm gonna
Like,
do it
you're-
either way. So hey, guys, this is what I'm here for.
She goes, I want that, but I don't want to provide for it.
In two
I don't want
episodes,
to
we're gonna
emotionally provide for him as long
You
as he
want
can
a
emotionally.
waifu.
I just
In 2 episodes, we're gonna see just some shirtless dude painting in the background and make zoom camera.
And he's like, can I have a drink? She's like, shut up.
Not while I'm on the phone.
Goddamn no.
No,
Keep
can
painting.
I tell you guys a side story for my weekend this
Yeah.
weekend?
You
So
got
funny.
married real
So
quick.
stupid. Yes, I got married real fast. So one of my good buddies had a friend in town from Chicago this weekend, so I was hanging out with them all weekend and just like getting shitty, and it was great. And but like the entire joke was always around like the music of Limp Bizkit and Kid Rock.
Sure.
And so we were just like making jokes the entire weekend about these songs and also listening to it incessantly. And it was
Well, I
we,
mean, Woodstock 99 is in the zeitgeist right now.
that's very true. So
Yeah.
it's relevant content, if you will.
Mhm.
And so
I'm eager to learn how this works into your romantic life.
I'm not going to attract anyone at this point in my life.
You hooked up with Fred Durst.
I wish. So basically the joke became over the weekend that is if I were to create a Tinder profile, which I absolutely at this point refuse to go on any sort of dating like app or whatever, is that I'm looking for my ba with a ba for my bang to the bang.
Ugh.
Like this is going to be...
Oh no! Oh no! I
But
would
then we
say-
got called mildly racist because we were just joking about Kid Rock for a specific song, and then we're like, okay, maybe we should tone down this and go
Why
more
is that
towards Limp
racist?
Bizkit.
Because Kid Rock's
Oh,
racist.
because Kid
He's
Rock
pretty
is
fucking
racist.
racist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like we like
People thought you were a legit fan.
Yes,
I
yes.
get you. I get you.
We were very in a very clear, joking manner, and
Yeah.
just like wanted to hear that one specific song.
Gotcha.
I mean, Fred Durst was all over it. Like
Yeah.
we were listening to multiple songs.
I'll give you another really, really fast one that seems somehow
Please.
related that you're going to really feel good about. A friend of mine who this was maybe 10 years ago, not that long ago, maybe like 8 years ago. It was when she was single. She's now married with a family and the whole thing. She made out with the lead singer of Smash Mouth.
Fuck yeah, she
Nice.
did.
And
Fuck yeah, she did.
it was one of the coolest stories I've ever heard in my life. She was like, yeah, he texted me and I just had him in my phone as Smash Mouth.
That's literally. Did he smash her mouth? Because I 10 out of 10. If I start like talking to a really terrible kisser, I'm gonna make them smash mouth in my
Call
phone.
them
I
Smash
love
Mouth.
it. But like smash and then mouth as the
Yeah, yeah.
last name.
Oh,
I love that.
Smash
I
Mouth.
love-
I got you. Not Smash Mouth, and then from like when you could put that thing in like what the organization they're from. They're also from Smash Mouth. This is
Their
Smash Mouth
organization
from
is
Smash
terrible
Mouth.
kisser.
From Shrek 2.
But I'm
From
so
Shrek
happy about
2.
your story. So.
Yeah. All right, guys. Orphan First Kill. So
Our
So-
stories are going to be much more funnier than this movie.
Yes.
Fuck.
So so anyway, the kept man who is like this like artisty kind of like angsty
I
grown
like
up
the
boy.
idea. You know, I like the idea of his art. I
But
was a little
then
turned on
the
by
thing
that.
was that he kept like he had this like kind of like a New York accent that came and went.
He's also again a beta, and you're like, okay, like
I can
these things
see why
aren't.
people thought you were racist. You were using the term beta and listening to Kid Rock. I would assume
Yeah.
you were racist.
No, that's not. That's no.
were you
no,
calling
he's
people
a weak.
cucks?
You guys.
Bunch of soy
No,
boy beta
he
cucks.
He just like clearly is not emotionally strong, and I'm an emotionally strong human.
Yeah.
So I was like,
He was very dependent on the wife. Yeah.
he's a sad artist, so that was a turn on. But then I was like, he's also a weak artist, and I know the dangers of those zones. You don't go
Well,
there.
He was
This
a
is such
sad
a
artist because he lost his daughter, you nutbag.
Yeah, his
No,
daughter
no,
died,
no,
Meg.
no, stop. He did not know his daughter died. No.
No, he knew she
she'd
was
been gone
gone.
for 4 years. He was assuming her dead.
If he was a stronger person, he would have been part of the whole ploy. Let's
I know.
be real.
Beta cucks always crying about their dead kids. Disgusting. Disgusting weaklings. Soy boy, beta cuck crying over your dead kid.
Meg's
Anyway.
saying some Alex Jones shit, and we should move on.
She is. She's fucking info warring out tonight. She-
so bad for saying all these things. But the kid was so perfect.
All right.
My God.
So anyway, yeah, I was waiting the whole time to finish you saying all those things. Then I was so his daughter died. But I was just letting you dig. You were digging a hole and throwing the dirt on your own head. It was awesome. Anyway, so their kid dies. You don't know why. She just went missing. They don't know where she is. It's been this thing where they're kind of come to terms with the fact that she's gone, but obviously the father is not able to process it, and it's really becoming a strain on the marriage and blah, blah, blah. They have an older son who's high school, college age, right? High school, college age, whatever.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden they get a call, says, hey, your kid's alive. We found her, in Eastern Europe. Let's bring her back. She's coming on the plane. She's home. She lives with you now. So again, a lot of suspension of disbelief there, but we get her in there at home, and immediately you see that the older son, is kind of skeptical about the whole thing.
He's also kind of he comes off very quickly like a piece of shit, privileged kid. You're like,
very much.
You hate him before you should know why you hate him.
Yeah, his name's Chad or Thad or something.
Some shit like that.
Something like it.
And
Dylan.
Brody.
It's like one of those things that they could have, I feel like, played that off a little differently. Granted,
it's not subtle at all.
Yeah, I feel like they could have played it to the plot of why we understand.
Well, I guess they did. I mean? Actually, really, now that I come to think of it, I kind of like the way she did, because I'm remembering the scene. There's a scene where they're driving back from the airport, and everyone's feeling very awkward. The mom is feeling very awkward, or assumedly so. You don't know exactly what's happening yet, but she's feeling very awkward the whole thing. And it's kind of she's putting on this show. She's crying, this whole thing. My daughter's back, whatever. The dad is trying to ease back into it. He's overjoyed to have her back, but he's also he's thought she was dead for 4 years. So all of a sudden she's back. The brother is very standoffish, so much so as even when they're in the car on the way home, he puts in headphones.
Yeah.
If you saw your sibling that's been lost for 4 years, you would think you'd, want to talk to them at least, let alone, not be bawling or sobbing, but he's just kind of whatever, put my headphones in. And he's kind of side-eyeing her.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's his deal?
Yeah. Because the other thing he does is when they're at the airport, the Julia Stiles, she brings the Esther, is what she's calling herself now. She brings Esther to the airport, and then they meet the dad and the son. The son's name is Gunnar, by the way. That's
tough what name. That's a tough one.
That's the Hunter Tyler,
Absolutely.
But yeah, obviously the father runs up, gives her a great big hug, and then the son is just kind of hey, what's up? And they have to force him into hugging his own sister.
Yeah.
And
so you're is he just an asshole? What's happening?
What I actually thought when I initially saw that was that maybe, because you can clearly see he's a young teenager of sorts, probably 16. As I think I mildly gave privilege to the situation to he was probably young when she was lost, because we didn't really totally until I feel it took a while to understand how long she's been gone. Because I feel once we found out how long she was gone, you could understand why the plot made sense that she could pull off this Esther character.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's not so unbelievably far-fetched in that way, but the fact the coming back from Europe and them just taking her word for it, and that's the whole thing that was kind of sketchy for me. But you get the idea that they're very wealthy.
There was things too. I'm the language. I'm you should have. They should have questioned that more to make it more believable.
That she has this strong accent.
Yeah, that they were actually, because we understand that this should be a clear factor. How the fuck?
Well,
even
I imagine
if she was
child. If a child was abducted when they were 6 and now they're 10, the majority of their speaking life happened in a different country.
Sure.
They would certainly have that accent. I know people who moved overseas for a couple years and came back with an accent.
True. Yeah. But usually I feel a lot of times those end up fading because they pick it up because of who they're around. Honestly, I'm going to be clear and say sometimes I do that when I'm around people that I'm in a very distinctive area, I pick things up real fast and I'm just oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. But that's why I'm saying I'm skeptical about it. Why I don't think it totally works, and why I wish the character of Esther would have tried to play it off a little differently.
Yeah,
is
why
what
would,
I-
why
what
would
I-
she have leaned in as much if she's so
like, I feel
manipulative about everything else?
Yes.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
that's
And-
more in my brain what's going on.
Yeah, I agree with you, Meg, because like the other thing is like she's kind of just generally shitty at this con. But yeah, she just hauls off and says wrong shit all the time. Like like misnaming the bird.
Or like, hey, I can't wait to see that person who's dead. You know,
who's dead, yeah. Like, how do you not remember Mima's fucking dead? You goof.
Being a real goof.
So either they're trying to play it off like these are the normal like ploys that she's like fucking up that she will fix in later. Obviously, this being like quote
The
unquote the first
prequel,
kill.
yeah, that's how I
You know what I
took
mean?
it.
Like-
Is she was just learning how to con people.
Because I don't think I missed it, but like, how did she learn about the bird? Like, did I miss that?
The mother mentioned that the therapist has a bird,
Okay.
but she didn't tell her what kind of bird it was, and so
Okay.
she just wasn't paying attention, and she just assumed that bird. It's like if you said, Meg has a dog named Bruce, and then you were walking around with not Bruce, and then somebody came up and called that not dog Bruce.
Yes. I understand. Yeah.
So she's kind of ingratiating herself. The brothers being really standoffish and weird. And then, I don't think there's really a whole lot more to talk about until we get to the twist, right? Nothing that's super essential.
No.
Like I said, a whole lot of nothing happens except for she's getting horny for the dad.
Yeah.
Again, this gets back to Meg's preference for why she picked this movie.
The only thing that stuck out to me that was silly.
Making
Maybe
a
I'm just,
lot
like, a
of
sucker.
faces right now.
Maybe I'm just a sucker for a sad artist, and I knew that she was gonna like go after the weak beta cuck. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm also a sucker for
Weak
that too.
beta
You know
cuck.
what? Maybe I'm just a little as an alpha female. Maybe I'm just like a sucker for that. You know,
You love a
I
soy
want to
boy
be able
beta
to
cuck.
manipulate a man to do whatever I want to do until I'm no longer interested. Then I find the next one until I pretend like that's what I want. And guys, I'm not good at dating. We've already covered.
You're
this
more of a predator.
Yeah.
The way you're describing it, you're really more of a succubus or a predator or something like that.
Or a bog hag.
Or
a bog hag. I
Classic
think 10
bog
out of 10.
hag.
I am classic bog hag.
Classic bog hag.
I'm gonna look for my ba to my bang to the bog hag.
She's gonna prey on men. She's gonna
Bog
trick
with
them.
the bog to bang to bang.
To bang bog hag.
No, bog to the bog. Bang to bang. Going from bog to bog, just all right. So anyway, this Esther.
Oh no, hold on!
she's
I
called-
didn't finish my fucking point. You
Yeah.
interrupted.
Sorry, we got bog hagged.
The whole thing is like the other thing that made me laugh though was like they were making fun of her because she's like dressing old and being like old and creepy.
Mhm.
Like if you look at her room is old as hell. It's got old records in it.
Yep.
All the dolls are dressed exactly like her.
Yep.
So like, why are they making?
The mom also bought. Julie Sales bought her the same type of
Yeah.
dresses too.
So why are
this
they making fun of her for being what she already was?
The whole house looks like that.
Wow. Yeah. I'm glad you made that point because it almost like towed this line of like what is reality versus like what's reality of like her reality versus their reality. And it makes you feel like she somehow is living in this alternate universe where she's like in old Russia and that's what they did. But no, the mom is like, you're my baby doll forever. And so we're going to play you off like this. No, I think it's a good point. I think it's an amazing point.
It just didn't make sense when the like other characters, especially like her brother was like making fun of her for being like that. Cause like she was already like that. So
Yeah. Absolutely.
it's like, it. Why are you bothering her, Gunner? You shit.
I mean, the only thing that I understood is that maybe they were trying to freeze her in time in a way.
Mhm.
That was the only aspect because I'm like some of those dresses were very like doll like that, maybe you would dress your baby girl in at that time and place, but
Well, and also like
Interesting.
these
We
people are
also, at this
so
point-
white. Like we
we
can
also-
reiterate.
yeah, they're too white. We don't I don't know. I don't like people that are that white. But we also
Nobody
at this
does.
point we also at this point understand the plot twist when we need to talk about it.
Yeah. So here's kind of what happens is you become the Julia Stiles character, who's the mom, she just comes out and says, fuck you. I know who you are. I know what you're doing. You're not my daughter. And then goes on to explain that Gunnar, the son, killed.
No, I feel like you're kind of passing over the way this is revealed. It has a good reveal.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So because the way it's revealed is that there's a detective and he's investigating Esther.
Yep.
He is suspect because he was the detective that investigated her initial disappearance. So now he's suspect. Esther comes up with this plot that she's going to go kill this detective.
Right. I did. I forgot about this part.
Yeah.
This is important.
Yeah. And she kills him, and he's on the ground bleeding and everything. She tells him, she's like, my mummy will never know the truth. And he goes, she already does, kid. Like a fucking shitty detective, and then gets shot in the chest.
Which is really what is so perfect about this like twist where we get this experience is that Esther thinks that she's like, I'm going to fuck your day up and I'm going to fucking make this right because to protect myself. And then we get the twist and it's like, nah, brah, this was already fucked before you even walked into it. We already were suspecting that Mommy Dearest was the murderer. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think is like so perfect about all this.
Yeah. So the whole thing is like, and this character, he hasn't played much of a part in this movie. At all. Like you don't get his name really. I think you might
he's
one
like
time.
The conduit for the plot, I think is really, you know,
just is like, yeah, he's just kind of a device in his own right. So she basically, you think the whole time that he's kind of skeptical of Esther and why she's there and all this stuff. But it turns out he's creeping around investigating the family because he is suspicious that what truly happened, which he was correct, is that the mom is actually covering up her daughter's death. It's never clear if he knows exactly what happened, what actually happened was.
But they played off like Esther is anxious about like, why is this person watching me? So she thinks he's coming after her,
right?
When in reality he is watching the family because he thinks all of this is sus.
Correct. Yeah, and so what you come to realize, and she explains, and this is really well done because the mom comes in and you think like, oh no, she saw Esther freaking prison shiv the detective, but then she just hauls off and shoots the detective. She's and like, murders his ass. And then you're like, what the hell's going on? And it's this quick moment of like, holy shit. So she comes to explain that she knows she has obviously known the entire time that she's not her daughter because Gunnar killed her sister. Gunnar killed his sister, aka her daughter.
I was trying to reenact that. Brian, you cut me off.
Wait, did he shoot her?
No,
he pushed her. I just wanted to make it more. They never
say why. I was going to say, did I miss the part where he shoots her?
No. They pretended like it was an accident.
Yes.
He said he like pushed her too hard.
He said, she said she was always playing too rough with her. And so my assumption was because we're in Connecticut, he was doing some WWE power bombs. Fucking killed his baby sister with it.
Yeah. He was up in Vince McMahon country and he jackknife power bombed her onto a table.
Absolutely.
She didn't answer the 10 count.
So he kills his little sister.
They're actually protecting the WWE like whole network. That's what this movie is actually about.
I assume that at some point Vince McMahon paid off Julia Stiles at some point, paid a settlement. But no, it's interesting that because you never come out and say exactly if Gunnar killed his sister on purpose or if it was an accident.
Right.
It's kind of
he comes off like he kind of was a piece of shit. I would have totally assumed at the time and place that he knew how strong he was.
Well, yeah, I think
I'm making assumptions because I don't like him. Because at the end of the day, when we get this plot twist, every feeling about like the relationships going on, you're like, I understand, but we also clearly see that Gunnar is such a sadistic piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a sociopath. Right.
Sociopath is great. Egotistical. Like he comes at her being like, she's going along. So after all, like Julia Stiles tells her what actually happened, and they get rid of the body of this detective, and they go back and they're like, we're gonna come up with a plan, and we're gonna like actually try to work this out and like make this work. Gunnar is like, nah, I don't give a fuck what plan you guys are going on. I don't like this. So like I think at the end of the day, he is like another catalyst for how this story really goes wrong, because as much as quote unquote Esther is like a sociopath, psychopath, murderous bitch, she's like, yeah, I'm going to go along with it. She doesn't start turning it back on them until somehow like until their own insecurities about jealousy come into play. And it's when Julia Stiles sees Esther with her husband. So,
she's like a super villain, though. She acts like a Bond villain, and that's why I don't like that character. And why
Wait,
I
which one, Julia Stiles or like Esther?
Yeah, she acts like a Bond villain because this twist happened, and I'm watching. I'm like, this movie's boring. Then this happens. I'm like, ooh, cool twist. Didn't see it coming at all.
Yes.
Loved it.
Yes,
but then. She makes so many, like, for somebody who is able to keep this secret for so long and is so diabolical, her logic was severely flawed as to why she wanted to do this.
Right.
And
but
again, her and Gunnar, I think, are exactly the same, though. Like,
yes, they're both crazy as fuck. And she keeps up she's obviously an adult and he's like a teenager. So he's keeping up, she's keeping up appearances a little bit more. And her whole priority is to keep up appearances.
I think her whole priority is to fuck her husband again.
Yes. And that's what this movie is driving force behind this is
everyone have sex. That's what this is. Actually, the theme of the movie is more sex.
Her relationship is falling apart with her husband because he's sad and depressed and can't, isn't able to get over the death of his daughter. And, instead of going like, oh, maybe we should like go to therapy or try to figure this out or whatever. Who knows? They might have done that. She goes, no, here's a golden opportunity because this child wants to pretend they're our daughter. So I'm going to embrace it and allow it to happen up until a point where I can't do it anymore. Then I'm going to murder her and give him closure. So her whole logic
she's a weak bitch. She's also a beta cuck.
Well,
she is not a beta cuck.
You don't know what that means.
I don't think I know what it means either.
So here's the whole thing is that her logic is so flawed because her thought is my husband's too sad to fuck. So I need to bring our dead daughter back, but I know it's not our daughter. But if I show him that she's alive and then make it look like an accident when she died, he'll have closure and then want to fuck.
I don't think her initial plan was to kill Esther.
But I thought she said it was.
No, it wasn't though. It was not. No, like that's the whole thing. Is like why I say like I think and why I'm jokingly saying like she's a beta cook. But like I think she's like also a beta in that like she's weak. And again,
you honestly need to like take a hard break from beta because I don't know if you know if you.
No, I look at beta as in like this weaker version of like an alpha. Like she comes off like an alpha character, like as like this lead character where she is in control of the whole situation. But at the end of the day, she is so driven by this like more primitive like. I want my family to survive and I want my family. And so the only reason why she wants to keep this whole thing going is because she sees that the moment the husband is like, oh, wow, I have my daughter back. She is seeing a different side of him. She is not affected because she clearly knows what happened, but she is so driven by this side. So I see it as like a very weak point for her. And this is a weak point of her character. And then I think her character is then subsequently driven. Every action she does, we see as this moment of like it's coming from almost like a primitive ego place, like or that like lizard brain where she's so reactive that no matter what, she wants to protect her son and she wants to protect her family. And she saw this moment of maybe fixing things because of something she's hiding, and then ultimately her ego comes back around and. This is what I think is the demise of the situation too. So this is like everything that I'm saying. And like, as much as like the jokes come around, this is what I think and I see in these characters.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. That's just not what a beta is. Beta would not take action the way she does.
Yeah,
I understand.
Submissive.
I'm joking in a lot of ways, guys. Come on, understand.
I
you
just
guys
wanted to make
me.
sure that you knew what that meant. So when you use it,
I just didn't want her to call everybody beta.
I just want to call everyone a beta who's weak as fuck.
So anyway,
I'm actually going to do that.
Everybody who's not me is a beta.
There's one alpha. It's me. Y'all a bunch of betas.
After that, all betas.
Yep.
She's hiding this, right? And it's all about basically she had this golden family, everything was perfect, and she wants to, put them up on this pedestal, and she's created this great family, and she really derives a lot of her self-worth from like her family and the success of her family and all this stuff.
Now in Connecticut, of course.
Yeah, they're Connecticut as fuck. So when the daughter dies, her whole thing is, I've got one kid left, and I've got to put all my eggs in one basket with this kid.
And he's a shit kid too. Because he murdered the other one. So
right. Yeah. So but he, they prop him up on this pedestal, and he's like this champion freaking fencer, which is again the whitest thing in the fucking world. He does fencing. But anyway, so they bring him back and whatever. So Esther and the brother, Gunnar, I can barely say with a straight face. They are fighting and arguing back and forth. Right?
It's not even arguing back and forth. He comes at her. So like I'm not defending Esther at all, but Gunnar, like as a character, comes at her as like, I know what's going on. I know what's happening.
Right. But she is an interloper in the house.
She is. And that's what I think is interesting about this story and with the twist. And the only reason why I keep bringing it up is that she accepts the reality of it for a minute until all these other subsequent things start happening. And then she goes into complete primitive like defense mode. And
wait,
she's
the mom or Esther?
Esther, because like, okay, if we're looking at like the train of events of what happens, clearly Julia Stiles, she comes at her and says, hey, I know who you are. I know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And then Gunnar comes at her and is like, you're never going to be able to be part of this family. You're never going to be part of this. I don't think
Esther's aspirations were ever to be part of the family.
No, she wasn't. No. But she wanted to, she knew that if she didn't at that time, they were going to turn her over and she was going to send back to Russia.
She had to play along. She had to play along for her time.
She did.
Yeah.
But in that time, that short period of time in the movie where we were watching this go on, it wasn't her doing anything besides hitting on the dad.
Right. Because that's how her con works. Her con works is she gets the mother and anybody else out of the way, so she can be with the father. Because that's how the way it worked in the first film.
I think it's just because she's like an older woman. She's like, I want to have a partner. I mean, I'm not defending Esther in any way, shape, or form, but I'm watching the plot happen as it is, and like if she was going along with the plot, she was almost going to leave the situation. We watched that happen, and then she came back. Because she clearly has feelings for that. It's just like, this is like an insane plot in general, but it's all derived from like fucking egos of people's like saying, oh yeah, I need to protect myself. But then at the same time, I have these like feelings. And then this is where everything goes to shit.
It's an insane plot to begin with. And they're just trying to do their best to make it mimic what the first film was as well, but like the way Esther kind of maneuvers through this after it's been revealed that Gunnar and Julia Stiles, I don't know character name, after it's revealed that they're lethal to her, like she has to accelerate her plans as well. So like she's playing along, but she has to, get them out of the way quicker than she would have expected.
Right. Totally.
I took it as because at one point she makes the comment of, and maybe it's the pivot plan, I don't know, but she makes the comment to Gunnar right when they bring her home, right after the reveal happens. She makes the comment of, the only thing harder than losing a child is like the unknown of not knowing what happened to them.
Mhm.
No, I think
So-
I think that was a significant thing too, and it shows her motivation.
That's what I'm saying. I think her motivation was always to kill Esther, to give the father closure.
No, I think she was okay. Like if she could have worked out I think the fact that they killed the detective is what set it off. Like
Yeah,
had Esther not killed the detective, there is a good possibility that she could have just lived the lie for the rest of however long she was going to. Or at least until like maybe she got older and it became more apparent that something was wrong, and then maybe she got done away with, or maybe she got sent to boarding school, whatever it was. So I think there was definitely an elongated timeline, but it's like after Esther kills the detective, everything accelerates. So Julia, obviously Gunnar is ready to kill her right away. Julia Stiles is trying to just hold up, appearances so Esther doesn't suspect that they're going to kill her. And Esther, is obviously trying to get them out of the way as quick as possible because she tries to fucking dump them into a train track. Give them the old Brian can't find fruit boot special.
Fruit boot. That's the Canadian version of
Fruit
fruit boot.
It's gonna be a new beer name.
Yeah, she tries to push them in front of a train, so
Right.
she's trying to get rid of them as quick as possible.
But this is also like, again, this is where we see that cat and mouse almost type of thing going on, where she starts suspecting. That's like the weird thing about it is that I don't, in this situation, as much as Esther was the first person to like come at the family being like, I clearly have more control over the situation than you do. But once we get the plot twist, I feel like there is a small period where we get the cat and mouse of it. And I think it's like a good part of it and probably one of the few entertaining moments of the actual whole movie.
Yeah. Can I ask a question? And I don't know, maybe I just wasn't paying attention, but like they set up Gunnar as this champion fencer. Does that ever come into play?
No, remember he tried. The only time it came into play was when she was like, go get her when they're back at the house after the train situation. And he puts on the mask and then takes it off. And then you see him be like, he has this fencing fucking knife. And that was the only time I could probably recall, unless Brian.
Well,
you think of
later,
anything else.
that's how he ultimately kills her. She ultimately kills him.
No, she
kills him with a crossbow.
The crossbow.
Oh yeah, she kills him with a crossbow, but she stabs him a bunch of times with the broken end of his one he broke. So during the match at the beginning, he breaks one of his swords, and then she ends up killing him with the broken sword after she's with the crossbow.
In my mind, when I saw it in such like a moment, I was like, oh, that's just the crossbow she like pulled out and like stabbed him with. But that's might be. I mean, we were introduced to the crossbow at least too, so there is some relevance to it. But
yeah, I was just trying to think if I missed like a scene where Gunnar tries to fence Esther. I don't know.
No, I don't
not
think
really.
He did.
He tries to kill her when he's going. Okay, so we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but we're almost there because basically the mom has this conversation with Gunnar and basically says like, hey, we got to stick it out for a little bit longer, and then then we're going to kill her because it'll be too suspicious if she dies right now, whatever. But then she just tries to poison her.
Yeah.
So with this, with this, poison in her dinner, and then she goes, "Oh no, I'm not hungry, or I'm going to eat upstairs, or whatever." So she goes upstairs. She puts the food down beside this vent where this rat lives, and she's like,
she doesn't know. I don't think she has any sus. I think she just like feels like she's being treated poorly because at that point she knows that Julia Stiles knows about her past.
I thought it was suspicious. I thought she was suspicious she was being poisoned.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She totally was.
Because do you think actually she was? Because I feel like she liked the mouse, and it that's the reason why I don't think she did that.
I don't think she cared that much. I think she specifically used the rat to see if it was poisoned.
Yeah. Because
she was upset about the rat dying though.
I think she was upset
I feel like it's a silly thing to argue about, but I think I can hear what you're saying. I think also there's an argument for I think she was just mad she's being treated like shit, and that's what she took it as, is that she's being treated like shit right now.
Yeah.
It's like, I got the mac and cheese.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I think that reaction might be oh, that bitch did try to poison me.
Mhm.
Like she was suspicious,
she
and then she was
learned.
like, oh, she
Absolutely.
fucking did when she finds the dead rat.
Yeah, in
But-
the smoothie.
Yeah, and
But she
then
didn't know until she saw it. So that was, again, I think, a reactionary thing. That's
it
why I
could
say
be. It
that
doesn't
was
really
probably,
matter, but
that was like, yeah, no, it doesn't really matter. That's why I think, like, in my mind, I thought that it was like she didn't know that she at that point was going to try to kill her.
so the rat's dead, and she puts it in a smoothie and cooks it for her, and basically gets her to pressures her
Take a
in
little
front of the
nip.
family to take a little sip of this rat carcass smoothie, and then we get a nice little shot
Brian,
of her.
you're not going to make a nice rat smoothie for your fam
I mean,
this weekend?
I
you know?
want to see what happens if I put a rat in the garbage disposal a little bit.
Oh, God.
But anyway, so now, you know, shit's kind of on at this point. 'Cause she's like, oh no, she's full on trying to kill me. Jumping forward a little bit, but essentially they go, all right, we got to pull the trigger now. We got to kill Esther. So the mom, who I just remembered her name is Lena, the mom and Gunnar are like, all right, we're going to corner in the room and we're going to kill her. But apparently the two of them are incapable of doing that. There's a whole comedy of errors that happens. And ultimately she escapes. So this is one of the things, there was a couple times, this scene being one of them. And even when she's explaining it to her, and even when they have the whole situation in, where are they walking at? I'm trying to remember. It's like a mall or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm going to kill you when we get home. Like, that's what I mean when it's like, it really felt like this like James Bond villain thing.
Yeah.
Where they just kept explaining to her exactly what they were going to do.
Yeah.
They get so arch, both Gunnar and the mom. They get so arch after the reveal, and like that whole scene where like she's like, and this, and I know this, and I know that, and I'm gonna go fuck my husband.
Yeah.
Like
This
that's
is
such an
why
arch
this-
villain thing.
Totally. And I think like this is completely where this movie falls apart again. So I think like the beginning, we walk into it understanding that we know what this fucking woman's doing. And then we get a great twist. And then we get the bullshit ending. I literally felt like the rest of it completely, like the only good part was the middle. The only good part of it, because I feel like everything after that is like, okay, let's just watch how she figures out how to kill them back.
Right.
You know, there was nothing interesting like somehow she was able to sneak out, which again, the first movie, if I remember correctly, we end basically like we know she escaped and we know there could be another
she's still out
movie.
there.
Yeah.
Yes, but it wasn't as in your face
Mhm.
as this film was.
And again, that goes back to this being a prequel because you know how it ends. And then there's some, you've been saying it a couple times this episode, Meg, but you're like, I'm not trying to defend Esther. But that's kind of the problem with this film, is that after you make the twist, Esther becomes kind of the protagonist.
She does.
And you're
right.
And you're kind of rooting for her because, one, nobody likes Connecticut wasps. So
there's no good guys.
Yeah.
Except for maybe the dad, but
Except for
he's,
the dad,
as
yeah.
we've established, a total soy boy beta cuck.
Yeah.
But I was wrong, by the way. Lena is not the mom. Lena is Esther's real name.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think. I'm getting mixed up.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. Because Trisha is the mom.
That's right. I was trying to think of the mom's name and all I could come up with Lena.
Yeah.
In any case, so they have this whole like, blowout thing, like we said, where they have like a fight. And there was a really funny line that I did write down when they are kind of like, I'm gonna, you know what, you're gonna get so killed when we get home. And then they like have this little fight, and she kicks Gunnar in the nards or something. Yeah. And he just goes, Mom, fuck, bitch. Just screams 3 words. I don't know. I just thought that was really funny. Also, early in the movie, 2 things I forgot to mention. One was during the time when Gunnar's having his little like party with his douchey friends outside, and like she wants to come out, Esther wants to come out and stuff. They're playing Juliana Theory.
Yeah.
Did
Time
you
and place,
that?
bro. Like
but that's like a Pittsburgh band, right? Or isn't it a Western PA band?
Yeah.
They were popular out here.
I just remember them from my like high school days.
Yeah.
So I feel like, wait, what? If we're looking at this, that music was probably perfect. the time and place.
Yeah,
so.
it was.
Yeah.
Because it was it was the 2000. The movie is
Gunnar
occurring in
was an
2007.
emo fuck that he was actually his subsequent years will be with like dyed black hair with the emo coif, and he'll have the nice that was what he was destined for.
Yeah.
But then he got killed by Esther.
And then we got, I did make a note earlier, and I think I said it out loud. I was watching the movies. Well, there's Chekhov's crossbow. Like,
Right.
You just saw it. You knew it was going to happen later.
Juliana Theory, though, is they're from Greensburg. So there you go.
Oh, there you go.
I knew they were Pittsburgh area, but
Fucking Zao and fucking Juliana Theory.
Yeah.
That makes sense why they blew that show up here.
but
It.
so whenever she escapes, she steals a car, drives off, and this is
Such a
before.
weird
I'm going back
scene.
a little bit. This is before they decide, okay, it's time to kill her because the cop brings her back home. She has this whole scene where she's like driving a car fast, wearing sunglasses, smoking cigarettes, and listening to Maniac.
Yeah.
It's such a weird, out of place scene.
It fucking rules, though.
Did it?
Why?
Because it is so bizarre. It
is bizarre, yes.
So, and again, this kind of plays into like the fact that after this film makes the twist that it does, it just goes off the rails and gets really silly. Like the villains become very arch. This becomes like they populate.
It did get cartoonish.
But
Yeah.
Steve, can we talk about did she do any of that in the first film?
I don't even remember, and I don't care. That's not my.
No. But that's what I'm saying.
Like
what I'm saying is that I do think there would be a good connective tissue between the two films if we had something like she has this when she feels free, she goes into this certain space where she's like, yeah, I am a fucking Donna smoking cigarettes, putting lipstick on. Where did the lipstick come from anyway? The mom
it was
doesn't
just
wear
in the
lipstick.
car. It was just in the
That's
car.
what I'm saying. But we also again don't know. Okay. It was weird. There was nothing besides that. The only thing that makes sense is that is a piece that shows that she is an insane person. That's the only thing in my mind.
But they tried to make her like an anti-hero almost. That's what I hated the most. I hate when you try to turn the bad guy into like an anti-hero or something, because it just sucks the wind out of the whole story.
In theory, Julia Stiles' character and her son were the fucking bad guys too.
Right.
Even though Esther was ultimately in this movie the point of the bad person. You know what I mean? Like
point of the bad person.
Yeah, she was like the actual God damn it, guys. I hate this episode right now. Yeah. I'm done. You know what I'm saying. You guys understand what I'm saying. I'm backing down.
No, I know what you're saying, but it's like like what Brian's saying is like this movie is so much like Texas Chainsaw 3D, and where like they turn Leatherface into the fucking anti-hero, and like he's never you're never supposed to root for him. He's a fucking he's a fucking gross cannibal who's out of his mind. Like, but it's insane.
Can you guys correct me? Because I didn't see that movie. Like, can you correct me? Was there anyone else like in this movie where Gunnar and Julia Stiles' character is like they are ultimately also the fucking villains in this? Did that movie also have that?
Yeah.
I'm just like curious. Yeah. So I mean, it's like you don't want to ruin for anyone, so you're looking for the least bad person.
Yeah.
Well, the only person is the dad, I guess, is technically blameless in this whole thing.
Yeah.
He's blameless, and he's more or less he's a victim, but also he winds up having to fucking die because that's just the way the first Orphan film sets it up, that the entire family died. But then also like it reinforces Esther's character that like she's not accepted by people, because the reveal at the end is like her like nice teeth come out and you see her old smoked up fucking Eastern European teeth. She got her. Yeah, that was that in the first movie? I think it was.
I didn't remember that.
Because that was like one of those huge reveals too. You're like, holy shit, this was like one of the most revealing factors of her age.
Yeah. Okay. The first movie, then that makes more sense, because in the second movie, it's like she looks weirder with the.
They don't look as bad. They don't look as bad.
Yeah. But I just kept getting back to the fact that like this is a whole lot to just placate your husband. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But so you get the whole thing like we talked about where they decide they're going to kill her. They corner her. She gets away. Then Gunnar throws her ass down the stairs. I'm going to go out and say it, guys. She gets yeeted down the fucking stairs.
It was a yeet.
Yeet.
Good yeet.
Yeah, gets yeeted down the stairs, and then, immediately Gunnar's like, "Oh, it wasn't my fault." And the mom's like, "I know it wasn't your fault," kind of thing. But she's not dead. She gets up, she bails, and then they're searching for her around the house. Gunnar's walking around with his fucking cool little sword, and then Esther pops out, shoots him with the crossbow, runs over, stabs him a bunch of times with his damn
stab.
His own little fencing, whatever the hell sword things are called. And then she comes in, the mom comes in and goes, "Oh no, you killed Gunnar. He's the best." And then they have the worst fight scene of all time. The mom and Esther's fight scene is one of the, I imagine if I watched it again, I might enjoy it more for its stupidity. But it's real fucking dumb.
Yeah.
They're fighting. She's 4 foot tall. Like, how is she so strong? They're throwing each other around the room. Like, it's
she's
fucking,
a 30-year-old lady, so maybe in like she has the mentality of a 30-year-old woman. So she's like
physics though. She's like 70 pounds.
I feel you. Julia Sell's also a tiny woman too. So
but they're freaking LOD, just freaking launching each other.
There are so many things that I want to question that are worse than that fight scene. Like as far as like
I don't know. I mean, she turned into Kurt Hennig right in the freaking kitchen and started tossing each other around.
Here's the other part of like why we need a prequel is that you need to see her go through Russian Sambo training
with the Emelianenko brothers. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's actually the bigger point is that we actually know that she is Russian and she is going to fuck shit up either way. It's like we have this assumption that like they breed strength there.
Yeah. Her real father is Alexander Emelianenko and she was born with the tattoos.
She has the tattoos. She can pop her hips. She's going to drop you on your head. Fuck you up.
So
She's
anyway,
born in a fucking jail cell. So I mean,
like Bane.
Yeah.
I'm actually making this up right now. I don't know if that's actually real.
So then they go to the they eventually end up as all good horror movies end. They end up out on the roof. Both of them simultaneously hanging from the gutter by one arm, or not by one arm. I don't think. I think I did that part up. They're hanging up. They're hanging by the gutter, and then the dad comes in and is like, "Whoop whoop whoop whoop," and then she, it's like this situation where who are you gonna say? It's like this Sophie's Choice. Cartoonish Sophie's Choice situation.
Yeah, he's so taken back by the situation.
And they're both arguing over each other that she's not even the real Esther. And she's like,
okay, can we also take how did he get up to the fucking roof so fast? He went into the burning house and like then ran out to the roof. It's like, no, this is not how this happened. Anywho,
keep going. 70-room house. No, the house has 70 rooms, but he somehow knew exactly where to go and found them hanging.
He said, "Fuck Gunnar," because I also hate Gunnar. That's what I would have said if I was his dad. And I would have kept running.
And then they eventually, there's a situation where he kind of decides to save Esther, but also like simultaneously the wife falls from the roof.
There's a pretty
cracks her head off the curb.
It was a pretty good head crack. Yeah. We knew she was dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they make it very clear she's dead. The melon splatter, all over the sidewalk. And then he saves Esther. They're standing there. And again, so stupid. He's like,
her teeth somehow fall out, right? Isn't like what it is like?
Yeah. He's like massaging her face.
He's like,
and
finally, now your teeth come out.
And then she just decides she's going to confess her love to him and we're going to be together and all this stuff.
This is so stupid. This is such... Okay, keep going. Sorry.
And then he's just like, no, what the fuck? And then she realizes it's not going to happen. And she shoves his ass off the roof. He splats right beside his wife. And Esther...
I mean, 10 out of 10. That's what I would do too if I didn't get my way. I'd be like, shove you off the roof.
But then the dumbest thing in the world happens next, which... This was one of the worst scenes I can think of. She walks back into the house.
I hate it.
Does an extended montage of getting dressed in a house that is ablaze. Not just like there's a little bit of fire. The entire house has been completely set ablaze. Very terrible CGI fire. And she is in her room putting her bows on, getting all prepared while the entire house is burning around her. No smoke. No smoke inhalation. No smoke at all,
she's
really.
Chilling. She's straight chilling. She actually loves it, I think, at this point. I think she actually is born of fire.
Yeah.
Well, you see, Brian, no smoke inhalation because she's short. She's too short.
She's not
Fuck you,
1
Steve.
foot
I'm
tall.
actually not going to even accept that comment at this point. I don't want to give this ending any sort of gratitude.
No, she walks down the stairs as literally the entire house, except for where she is walking, is on fire. She's just literally strolling like there's no heat or smoke or anything. Walks right out the door as the firemen are coming up, and there's corpses on the sidewalk.
But there's no one
the
coming up to her. It's like, I'm sorry. Like, I was so fucking mad. I'm like, this is the stupidest. Everything you just said, 10 out of 10 is like like, I thought it was the most dumb way to end this. It was not a good like lead into even the final scene that we get, but also even into the next movie, because in reality, she showed no feelings of, oh my God, my house is on fire. We never got that. And then at the same time, we never got this like idea of like, maybe she like runs off. Like, we never got any of this.
Yeah.
This ending is so fucking weak, and I'm still mad about it. You talking about it made me more mad again. I'm sorry.
It's a bad movie overall. I would say there was one little part in the middle that was okay, and the whole rest of the thing was a big old stinker.
Don't watch the sequel. Watch the first one and leave it there. Leave the idea of the story where it is. It's a good story. It's a good, like, real life story. Don't fucking let entertainment get involved.
It's absolute hot trash. Did not enjoy anything about it, except for that little like 5-minute part in the middle.
Yes.
That's pretty much it. Steve, any final thoughts for your?
It is fun-ish if you're kind of drunk, but like Meg said, if you don't want to like kind of spoil the original story, like the original movie stands on its own.
Mm-hmm.
So
did you guys like that? Can we like? I just want to recap. Did you guys like the first movie?
The
I feel like we
fine.
collectively was fine.
Yeah, it's an interesting interesting story, and it's different enough that it sticks out from other films. Like there's really no okay. So when I watched the original Orphan film, there wasn't anything else that really made me think about it. When I watched this film, I thought about Titane, the way she transforms herself into the little girl. I thought about Texas Chainsaw 3D with the fucking shitty turning the villain to the anti-hero. I thought about so many other films that have done bad things.
I think that's such a good point. I think that's an amazing, because I feel like you have much more of a bit better background, because like when I first saw it, I felt similarly, but for different reasons. Like at that point I was like, but I didn't see it until maybe, what did I say? Like it was almost like a year ago. And I thought I thought it was great. I was like, whoa, a little bit surprised. This is interesting. But yeah, then you get this one and you're like, wow, I like exactly what you said. But not as prolific as you, is how I felt.
Yeah, it was hot poop, guys. Save your money. Wait till it's streaming for free somewhere.
Go on a Wednesday afternoon when you have the day off, like me.
Or then watch a different movie when you get there. Not this one.
There's other movies out there.
There's a lot of good movies coming up too. The Invitation's out, which I'm curious about. I know, Steve, you said you did not want to cover that one. I'm still curious to watch it. I do want to see The Barbarian. The Barbarian's coming out at the end. Oh wait, that's next month.
Guys,
that's next month.
Hocus Pocus 2.
Okay. I feel like that needs to be a family film. Can we do this like as a family? Just invite me along with your family, Brian.
Oh,
I'll bring my niece, maybe. Like my niece, that'd be cool.
I don't even give a fuck, guys. Fuck you. I love Hocus Pocus.
No, I'm curious. I just don't want it to suck.
Yeah, it probably is going to suck. In any case, that's a good frog, Steve.
Final
Solid
frog.
Final frog. Oh,
I
no,
feel like
he's
that's
kind of
my face right now.
surprised.
Why does that look like my face right now?
Surprised frog.
You're just looking at your video, Meg.
No, I'm looking at that and I'm like, that's how I feel. Like I had a nap last night for sleep and I feel like that frog. Please post it with this episode. I'm not
Meg
great.
watching
so
this
I'm
movie.
not only buzzed, but also sleep
I'm
deprived.
not great.
I'm not
She
great.
just goes,
so
I'm not great.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue to call everything a beta cuck too. So I'm gonna like give myself a mulligan and not feel embarrassed about this episode in any way, shape, or form.
Good enough.
Yeah, well. All right, guys. Next week, let me remind you, it's our first it is really, if you think about it, it is the one of two spooky season showdown episodes, guys. This one, we're getting real spooky with some satanic panic horror flicks. Go out and watch them. Follow us on the social medias as always. And also, I forgot to mention, I think last time, if you go on the old social medias or not social medias, I'm sorry. If you go on your podcatcher app, you go on your Spotify's and your Apple Podcasts, stuff like that. Go on, rate us, write a little review, and then send me a message on the social medias and say, hey, I put you a little review on there. I'll send you some damn stickers. I just sent out some stickers as well. Yesterday. So, yeah, got a few left. We'll send them your way. I also threw in some like little spooky, like temporary tattoos and some other dumb stuff in there as well. So
can I say that I'm
that.
like really excited that I actually like shared some of our stickers finally that have been sitting in my car for months on end. With some coworkers, and they're sharing them around, and I felt really good about that. Brian, please praise me.
I've been sticking them in. I've been sticking them on a bunch of real weird spots.
Wait, where? Like a lot of urinals, or like what is like?
Well, yes, I did do stuff like that, but I also did like put it when I was on a walk on a bridge and just vandalize. I'm just vandalizing
that actually
stuff.
Sounds pretty romantic.
It was just me, but it did get pretty romantic.
Get some outside people, people who like being on the outside.
Yeah, under a bridge, like at a methadone
It's
clinic.
like geocaching.
That's where it's geocaching for degens. All right, guys. That's it for this here Minisode. Like I said, check us out next week as we do that little showdown-y episode. Gonna be a whole lot of fun. Get ready for spooky season, you sons of bitches, because it's fucking coming. And we're gonna get into it real deep like here starting next week. So bye.
Bye. I'm so excited.